Hello, hello, I'm Amanda.
And I'm Anthony.
And we are AV Adventures.
And today we're going to be talking about how to get around the Walt Disney World property. So the resorts, the different parks.
And we've done a video talking about how to actually get to Disney World before. We'll link that above. This is the continuation.
This is part 2.
Yep.
So stick around.
Welcome back, guys. So first thing that we want to cover is something that you may not be aware of, and that is called the TTC, or the Transportation and Ticket Center. So this is a hub that houses the Magic Kingdom parking lot. And as we're talking about all these different ways that you can get to the different parks, one of the big places that you will end up going to, whether it's through a monorail or a boat or a bus, but a lot of different ones will drop you off at the TTC. And then from there, if you're going to the Magic Kingdom, you've got to get a ferry, a monorail from there to Magic Kingdom. So we're going to be talking about a lot of different things, but we might say that'll take you to the TTC, and then from there you'll have to do the next
We'll
step.
reference it quite a bit, so we want to just set up front what that means.
So hopefully that explains it really well. It's not too confusing. And so now let's get into our first method of transportation.
Most versatile method, but one that you're going to have to pay for, is obviously Lyft and Uber. Those will come and pick you up from anywhere in the parks, and take you to anywhere in the parks, with the limitation of Magic Kingdom.
Yep.
You'll
How
take
close
you to
they
the
can
TTC.
get. And the next thing with that is
Very similar.
through the Lyft app, you can also get a minivan. It's bigger. It has a car seat in it, all the things that you might need, but it will actually take you anywhere else, just like Lyft.
Anywhere on site. Lyft, Uber, minivans, very versatile, but there's a charge for those. With those out of the way, now let's start getting into what Disney provides for you to get around the parks. So the first one there is buses, and buses are pretty much going to go anywhere on site. They'll go to Disney Springs, they'll go to all the parks, they'll go to the different parks.
The thing with any of these that we're talking about, though, is that you're going to want to check your actual hotel and make sure that they actually do pick up there, especially with the virus and all the guidelines and restrictions that are going on. If you're watching that during this time, there's just a lot of changes happening, and buses could be one of them. So check your hotel, but this is typically what happens.
Check that, especially if you're in like a Good Neighbor hotel. They might have some different rules.
Yep. And the thing with buses is they're usually not too long. Some of them, if you're on the farther out resorts, it'll be a little bit of a drive. They'll start operating at 20-minute intervals, starting about 45 minutes prior to the opening of the park they're going to.
Yep.
So each bus says it's going to Magic Kingdom or it's going to Epcot, and it'll start about 45 minutes prior, and then they'll end an hour after that park closes. Yep. So you're not going to get stranded at a park.
Left without me.
You'll be fine.
Yeah. But that's one of the things you might have to take into account, is if you're wanting to stay and be like the one of the people in line as soon as the park closes, or if you're wanting to get there for rope drop, you might need to assess whether you need a faster or more reliable mode of transportation.
That covers that one.
Yep. And
the next one that we have is the monorail system. And monorail is fantastic, and there are actually two different lines. One of them is the resort method, and then the other one is between the parks.
The first line is the resort line, and that takes you between the Polynesian, the Grand Floridian Resort, and the Contemporary. Those three that are right outside Magic Kingdom. And that line makes a stop at the TTC, as well as Magic Kingdom itself. So it does go right up to Magic Kingdom.
Right.
However, if you jump on that line, you might have other stops before you get to Magic Kingdom. So one of the other things they offer is from the TTC, this is the second line, there's an express line that goes to Epcot and Magic Kingdom.
Yep.
So from that Magic Kingdom parking lot, you can take that that express line to either of those parks.
Yep. One of the cool things though is the resort line. I always loved this as a kid. You get to go through the Contemporary. You actually get to go through
the hotel.
that. Yeah, it's really cool. So if you have time and you're not like trying to go as fast as you can and taking the express line, you can go through the resorts, and that's just a really, really cool experience.
So next is the boats. There's ferries that go around Disney World because there's a lot of different lakes, a lot of bodies of water.
Port Orleans is a big one. Yacht and Beach Club, those kind of things.
Great. And one of the things, you know, when we were looking this up to give you the info on this, there are a lot of resorts that those boats go back and forth to.
So we aren't going to list them all.
Yeah, but if your resort is near a body of water, check it out, see if that's an option. Those all, I think they all stop at the TTC, so that's kind of the hub for the boats.
But then from the TTC, there's a ton of ferries that go out from there, and you can go to resorts, you can go to Magic Kingdom, across that big lagoon there. So there's a lot.
One other note on the boats. There are entrances to Hollywood Studios and Epcot from the ferry services. They are currently not running, but make sure to check that out before you go. See if that's something that's available.
Yep, because they were previously and they hadn't said that they're going away.
Right.
Okay, then the last one that we have is the Skyliner, and this is a new aspect that has just been opened up in Disney World, and it connects to a bunch of different places. So we're gonna have a map up for you, but the places that they start are kind of those farther outlying resorts that a lot of people didn't really want to go to, and now it's easier. So there are 4 resorts that you can go to. The first one's Art of Animation, then there's Pop Century, Caribbean Beach, and Riviera, the new Riviera Resort. So all of those are the resorts that you can go to, and then from there, you can go through the International Gateway. It'll drop you off right there at Epcot, that back door entrance. And then the other one is Hollywood Studios, they're right next to each other, so very close.
So yeah, some of those outlying resorts, they made it a little bit easier to get into the parks. All right, so thank you very much for watching our video. If there's anything we missed, like any obscure, like, I don't know if rickshaws go around Disney World or whatever. But if there's something that we missed, put it in the comments below. Make sure you hit subscribe so you get notifications about future videos.
And we will see you on the flip-flop.
So long.
Hello, I'm Amanda.
And I'm Anthony.
And
okay. All right, guys.
I can do the.
What? Spit it out.
This part.
I can do it.
Okay, do it.
I can do it.
Join me in a moment of zen. Stop, okay. Wake up. Okay.
Probably looks fine.